Queen. So today is part two or the second Hunty Cunt High School story. I am wearing my Black Dahlia shirt. I actually had it made for me and I like kind of designed this picture. No, I just took a picture, put a little bar, trust no one, etc. etc. Kind of like my Selena and Yolanda Trust No Bitch shirt that you can see in my Meeting Prince Royce vlog, and I'm pretty sure that's the only video I ever wore it in. But again, if you haven't seen the first Hunty Cunt High School story, please go watch it. It's basically me just talking about shit that happened in high school because, high school sucked, so why not just talk about those 4 years? Like, hi, kill me. Um, but basically, this is about some crazy white lady teachers that we had at our school. And I'm pretty sure people will know who I'm talking about, but like, bye. Anyways, so the first one, she kind of taught you, how can I put this? Talking to a group of people, talking to a huge group of people when you're have a PowerPoint about your life, or like you're speaking to the public, to put it into kind of, you can understand where I'm coming from, terms like public speaking. But basically, yeah, she was that, and she was very, I don't know, I probably say a little bit flamboyant in her wardrobe, and just, I think just her look, like her style, so to speak. She was very, she was out there. She was like Miley Cyrus before Miley Cyrus happened. Like before We Can't Stop, she needed to stop. Like that was just like she was rolling blunts on people's assholes with like her denim whole outfit head to toe. Like she wanted to be Britney Spears, Justin Timberlake, from the VMAs or wherever, but like she she's close to God, so her days are numbered. And she was just very, very, very crazy. And now, one specific thing nobody really liked about this crazy white lady is that she low key was like just a tad bit racist, I believe. And like, also, she was very, well, annoying, yeah, but like, I don't know if the word would be authoritative in the wrong way or something like that, but like, she would get on you for like nothing. Like, okay, like let's say you turn, like I don't know, just how like sometimes you're in class and like you just look up and like you just turn to the side or something. And it's like no, like she'll just yell at you or something, and like you had to be working on like what you're gonna present to the class, and like we had like 3 or 4 major like public speaking things, and it was so annoying because like the work in that class was just trash, and the crazy white lady they had before that was like terminology class, like it was okay, you're just like looking up definitions, gotta remember them for a test, blah blah blah, like that was okay, but then like this hoe in specific, like even the class before that had her and stuff, and like even classes before they were just like, oh, like she's like you don't want her and stuff. And she also she was such a bitch. She just couldn't or didn't know when to just stop. Like you just have those teachers that just don't know when to shut up because you're annoyed. And nobody really liked the class, honestly. Everybody just wanted to get it over with. I think we were the spring semester that had her. I'm pretty sure we had her the second semester. And it just ruins, like stuff for you in certain ways. And then she just kept pounding at you and pounding at you and stuff. And then at one point, I remember one of my friends tagged me on Facebook because it's like we did the same, like topic of speech. Like it's either about you or like your family or something, I don't know, people you hate, including yourself. And this hoe got like a really high grade and I got a low grade. And it's like, I really think she hates you because like, how did I get the high grade and you didn't? And like mine was good and stuff. And that's why I always felt like I had that luck, so to speak, where just people don't like me for some odd reason, and I just can't figure it out. Like, hi, you're not gonna like me for whatever reason, bitch. And she just, she didn't like me. Like bad grade, bad grade, bad grade. And then I remember the last like projecty, speechy thing that we did in that class. I partnered up with one of my friends who you have seen on this channel, I believe. I'm pretty sure you've seen her on this channel. And it was about like smoking or something. And I remember one thing that people laughed at in the speech because I didn't know what to say. And then I was like, oh, like you can like not buy like cigarettes, so like you can save money to buy. And I kind of froze because I was like, what can I? And I was like, toilet paper. So if you were in that class and you remember that speech, leave a like down below. But it was kind of funny with that part and stuff. And then like on that one speech, the whole semester, I got like a 98 or something. I don't know. It was like a high A, and I was like, but then I found like her mom like had died of like lung cancer or something, so I think it was just like a pity thing, like, you know. But then at the same time I was like, oh my god, tell me who else died of like cancer or something, so I can like talk about that and be like, okay, so like the boy in the striped pajamas over here was burned to death, and like this hoe like died of cancer, like the Fault in Our Stars before the Fault in Our Stars happened. So, you know, things like that. But basically, moral of the story, nobody liked her. She was kind of crazy. She was a little bit racist, and like I felt like she was kind of like the Aryan sisterhood, or I don't know, something weird. And then the next crazy white lady, so to speak. You know what? I should make this three. We'll make this three crazy white ladies from Huntington High School. So the second one, if you do remember, my sophomore year, I want to say I probably talked about it on this channel. I did have a previous channel before this one, but like this is the one that I don't know, when Google made the thing with YouTube and it just threw me off, I basically made a new channel. It's like, I can't handle this. But I would write stories for the Huntington High School newspaper. So, getting into that, it was an interesting class. You know, the journalism class before that was very much just, she didn't like us. And low key, she would just pass us because she wasn't a good teacher. A lot of people were in such. She wasn't a good teacher for like when she taught English AP or something at one point. Like you just look at her and you know, like she sticks food up her ass or something, and she like reads a newspaper and like she'll put chicken grease on her lips instead of like EOS or like chapstick, and that's not nice. You know, like she's gonna have a heart attack before like I get into another car crash and die. And I was just like, okay, ho. And the newspaper was me and three people that I knew. Two of them I would consider friends. The other one, like, I just knew him. You know, like, we just talked because, like, we were in the same class. But it was an interesting group, us four. I felt like we were always the outcast because we sat in the corner, and I sat in the corner by myself. So one incident that someone else told me about that they were laughing that I got in trouble for was basically this one chola girl and like her other like baby chola friend that had like raccoon eyeshadow. I think it was like baby blue eyeshadow, like every day, like black liner and some other stuff. It was like her blue smoky eye, but I mean, it just looked like she got like, I don't know, like a facial by a Smurf. And we had the opportunity, like they say, to change the wallpapers on the desktops. Now, me, I am a fan of like Lady Gaga and stuff, so what do? I changed the wallpaper to, I think, Lady Gaga's Born This Way album cover. I'm pretty sure it was the one with the motorcycle, or if not, it was another Lady Gaga one, but I do remember that specific one, or that specific instance when I changed it to that. So I changed it to that and stuff, and then the next day it's like changed to, I don't know what it is, but I found out like Chola and her baby Chola friend did it. And okay, so I don't know if all Macs are like this. Obviously, I don't have a Mac, but like we had in that classroom, like that's what we worked on, and so like so again, I don't know if all Macs are like this, but basically the mouse is like a USB thing. Like it was in the keyboard, but then it was like on the monitor thing. So I don't know. It was weird, but that one like never had a keyboard or something. The other ones like came with. I don't know. I probably sound stupid right now if you're like a Mac person. I don't know. But basically I unplugged it and I put it under like the table, so you know they can't really like move the mouse, they can't get on, they can't change the wallpaper, blah blah blah. So my friend who had a class that she taught, it was like a food class or something, I don't know, and basically they needed all the computers. So I guess she never like taught big classes, but like I guess that was the one class that every computer needed to be used. And they couldn't find the mouse, and they knew that I sat there. And she was like, where the fuck did this kid, like, put the mouse, basically? And she was looking and looking and looking, and she couldn't find the mouse. And then, like, when she was, like, looking under, she found it, like, on the boxes that were on the floor and stuff. And then she was like, oh, I need to talk to him. And my friend told me, like, she wanted to laugh so hard because she knew, like, I sat there, too. And I kind of laughed, like, thinking in retrospect. And then I remember when she called me down to her room, she was like, why did you hide it? Like, she was like that low-key person who would like stick like a Popeye's like chicken wing up her ass or something. Like, you know, she just got that sudden urge to put a turkey wing inside her pussy. And she was just like, so why'd you do this and blah blah blah. And I was just like, oh, like, well, you know, like Chola Ho and her little baby Chola bitch were like trying to like change my wallpaper because they don't like me and they know I like Lady Gaga and stuff like this, and people just don't want to like fuck with me. But I'm like, you know what, like, bye, go fist yourself with like a can of mace or something. I don't know. And then she's just like, okay, like we're not gonna have this. And then the next day, she basically told everyone to change their wallpapers on their Macs to a solid color, and everybody was like, why? And then like eventually they found out it was me, and they're like, oh my god, and stuff. And I was just like, shut the fuck up, like y'all are graduating, bye. And basically she also, we would have like food parties and stuff. And I remember one time, like, you know, like when there's food, you're like, ugh, when other people come in and like start taking free food, which was Baby Chola and her friends and some other who wants to be a photographer, but she looks like a Muppet. So they would come in and they would take her food and stuff like this. And there's one point like where this one girl like snorted like, I think it was like Orange Crush or something out of her nose because she was laughing. I don't know, but I think she was like blind in her left eye. Like she was like half of Helen Keller, or something. And like I always wanted to like go like that to like her left side and see like she'd flinch or something. I don't know. I never got the chance to do it. And then also there's this one point. I think it was a journalism class where I sat in the back corner, basically the door. You know, like when you walk in the door, like I was the first seat there, and there was like me and my friends. And I think she got diarrhea or something because she was like running, like she was going to the bathroom in and out, and so she's like, "Oh, I'll be back," and stuff. And at one point, she like, you could tell like she was sweating, like she was probably like queefing in the front of the classroom, which is why it smelled weird after she left. And then she was just like, "Oh my god, like I'm gonna go to the bathroom." Like she told some one girl, she's like, I really need to go to the bathroom and stuff." And she was just like, "Okay, like." You're the teacher. Why are you telling me this? And like I think like an hour later, she finally comes back and she's like, "Oh, hey guys," and stuff. We were just like, I think she got massive diarrhea. Like I don't know if she had like a fucking Taco Bell burrito or something, but she had massive diarrhea, and she was always eating something. And she was like on Weight Watchers and stuff. But like obviously you can tell like it's not working. And like honey, you need exercise, not just a diet. Like big belly goddess. But yeah, that was the second crazy white lady from Huntington High School. Again, if you know that story, please like it down below or subscribe. And the third crazy white lady, she just made no sense. Like I think one thing that really stuck with me that I remember talking with my friend, is that she she wanted kids, but when she had her kids through IVF, she was always complaining about her children. And she was just like, oh, she's like, these kids or whatever and stuff. And we're just like sitting there like, okay, you like were the one that spent all this money to have your kids. Like, why are you complaining, sis? Are you okay? And then she was always very weird. Like, she wanted to be like a gynecologist, but she's a teacher and stuff. She's like, oh my god, I just found it so interesting when I got pregnant. And I was thinking, I was like, I wonder if this hoe just got like pregnant just to like go to the gynecologist. Like, I don't understand that. And then she would always be so, like, in a way sarcastic. Actually, there's two other white ladies. This may be a longer video than I suspected. And she made no sense. She was kind of annoying. She was kind of a bitch, you know, but like, hi. And she just, I don't know, I felt like some point she didn't like me. And like, she would just be kind of like low key rude and stuff. Like, you know, like the rude that people are like, I'm not rude. Like, I'm just, you know, like, whatever. And like I remember like kind of calling it out when I was like, "Why you gotta be so rude?" And so she's just like, "Stop it," and stuff. And then she was like, she always gave us busy work and stuff, and like it was just like finding definitions. I don't know, but like her tests were so hard because she wasn't a teacher. Like she wasn't a good teacher. Like they just threw her into something because everyone else like left or so. I don't know what happened. But then also she would just like talk about the most weirdest things, and there's not much I can remember. But like if you know who I'm talking about, like you know. But moving on to the other lady, me and my friends, we would go to the library during lunch. And she was this librarian lady that no one could stand. Like, hi, she was nice, you know, like one on one, like most people, but like, I don't know what was up her ass most of the time. That's probably why you never really saw her sitting down much, because like there was something up her ass. And she was cool and stuff, and you know, she helped like her GSA and everything, but she just had this attitude or like superiority complex that just really, really annoyed you. And she's like, okay, guys, like this or that, and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, could you scream any fucking louder in this fucking quiet ass library, you bitch? Like, ugh, it was so annoying. So she kind of looked like Shirley Temple or something like that. She kind of looked like a witch too. She had a really big nose. Like, you know, like I want a nose job, but I think I would like donate it to her first. But basically, she just was yelling and everything, and like you could not print in that library without getting her fucking parent permission or like a permission slip sign. I don't know, like you needed a release form or ugh. It was so annoying, especially if you wanted to print in color, which I never did, but like you know. And so we would go to, you know, the library during lunch and so we would just hang out there. And one time, well, I think it was a couple of events leading up to it, but like I think she just didn't like one person like in my group of friends or something that we would sit there and she'd be like, "This host table, quiet," and stuff, and we were just like, we're not even talking. Like we would literally be staying like, yeah, once in a while like we were like loud and stuff and she wouldn't get mad at us. But like, you know, like that one time, like again, like when you're just quiet and like everybody else around you is being loud, but then they like go after you for some reason. Like they just gotta anally like sodomize you for like no reason at all. Like they just go after you like you're the fucking boy in the striped pajamas. Like Anne Frank, they just ran up those stairs and like grabbed you out of the attic and like you just died. Like you just don't know what happened. That is what happened to our table. And then she's just like, this host table. She's like, you know what? She's like, everybody out and stuff. Like, everybody had to leave the library. It was really crazy and stuff, and it was just so annoying. But she was always that person. Like, I think a lot of teachers didn't like her, and they really didn't want to be so confrontational with her. And she's like, guys, what are you doing? And she's like, well, you know, you can hurry up and stuff, and blah, blah, blah. Like, she was just always like, just the little things in life that just don't have that much meaning. She just had to give it some shitty ass meaning. And it was just really annoying. And then, like, she's like, give me your phone to some people who had their phones and stuff. And, like, it was just like, you know, like, it's kind of like when the police got mad at me. If you ever saw my run-in with the sheriff video, like, your dog was out. Like, we're gonna, like, find you this. And, like, whatever. But then, like, they're breaking into a house, like, down the street. And it's just like, oh, yeah, we've heard. But it's like a dog, a family getting burglarized and threatened. And they still do to this day. Like, I feel like my dogs would be down here, and like that family should probably be in like witness protection. Like it's it's those things like that. Like it's like hi, like if you broke your pencil point sharpening edge, she'd be like, "What the fuck did you do, you stupid little fucking cunt?" But it's just like that was just like I don't know what was up with her. Like I felt like maybe her nipples were always hard and like she was just mad about that. So like the only thing she could do was just yell at people. Like it was the weirdest thing. Like I feel like her labia fused at birth. Like you don't really know what was wrong with her. And it was just crazy. And I remember she did lose some weight, but I mean with all that extra skin, like you would just hope she would just flap out of your way. But she never did. And then the final crazy white lady that I can think of in this very moment, is one that I had my senior year. If you were in that class, you would know. Well, I think if you just had her in general, like she was annoying. She was very on you. And one thing that I always got back on my papers in red writing was cliche. She just thought everything I did was cliche. Cliche, 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 cliche. All over my essay. And it reminded me of when I was in newspaper and all my story was in red. She's like, oh, don't worry about it if it's in red. You know, like it's just suggestions. Like, it's nothing, but like, how does a low grade reflect that? Nothing, bitch. Like, give me some fucking, like help. Like, what did I do wrong? And everything was cliche with her, and she would always get on your nerves. She knew we really didn't enjoy her class, and we didn't want to be there. She didn't want to be there. We were the last class of the day. She didn't like some of the people in her classroom. Two of which some people also did find really annoying. One more in particular than the other. And there were times where you can kind of get her to like, or whatever, but like in the whole, I guess, time spent there, which was like an eternity at Huntington High School, was basically the worst class to end the day with. Like you dreaded going to that class, you dreaded having her as a teacher and stuff. And again, I'm that person who's like, okay, they can't be that bad and stuff. And she was like the AP teacher. A lot of us dropped out of AP to not have that hoe. We still ended up having that hoe, like she just had to teach that class that year. And it was just the most exhausting class ever. Like, I remember reading some stories and stuff. She would just be like, oh, like, what does this mean? And, like, this and that and blah, blah, blah. And she'd just, like, calling you and she'd be like, no, like, that's not what we're doing and stuff. And then she'd be like, like, she was that person. Like, she just, it's like, okay, Janet Jackson, like, what the hell is up? Like, like, why are you giving me these stares? It's like staring at a blind person. It's very uncomfortable because you don't know whether to look a blind person in the eyes or not. And she was just like, ugh. Like everything you did was like, ugh. It's like, scoff, bitch, scoff. What do you want? What am I doing that's bothering you? It was just that kind of crazy. And then At one point in the year, like, she kind of lightened up a bit. I think just because the year was ending, where, like, I think both parties were just happy to not be in the same room together anymore. You know, like, that was a very exhausting time. And, like, the breaks that we had were just, they were blessings. They were count your blessings one day at a time that you were not in that class. And she just, ugh. And then I remember at one point, I think somebody was asking about her family. And then she's like, oh, yeah, she's like, I have 3 boys. And we're just like, oh, you know, like, kids or, like, husband. Or she's like, I have 3 boys. Like, I'm happy. 3 boys. And then I remember, like, me and my friend thinking, like, 3 boys. Like, not even like, oh, you know, I have, like, sons. Or, like, I have children and my loving husband. Like, no, 3 boys. Like, she just, like, I don't know what was wrong with her, honestly, that, like, she did not want a family or, like, a spouse. Or, like, she gave off that vibe. Like, she just really doesn't like her life. When I was thinking, like, Sylvia Plath, the author who committed suicide, I feel like, low-key, that would be her, you know? Like, she wanted to get it over with, but at the same time, she was, like, from a religious, like, background or something. So, like, at the same time, she was like, you know, maybe it's not worth it. But in reality, just, I'm like, honey, just let it go. Like, just stop being a bitch. I mean, to all 5 of these hoes, but, like, you know, like, you're just, like, stop. And, like, she would grade, like, really hard. Like, I don't know who she thought she was. Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like if you plagiarize, like, a Maya Angelou poem and you gave it to her, she'd be like, this is trash. Like, this is the worst thing. Cliche. But then you'd be like, this is Maya Angelou, though. And she'd be like, oh. She's like, but this is the best and stuff. And then, I remember hearing a story of, like, some Asian bitch. Like, he wrote, like, his essay or whatever, and, like, she gave him, like, a failing grade. And he's like, oh, like, you know, fuck this hoe or whatever. Like, I know what I am and stuff. And I was like, okay, honey, like, you know, like, your eyes already, like, but, like, you know, like, you're a little cross-eyed. You look like Stitch from, like, Lilo and Stitch. So, like, can you see what you're typing? Because, like, you know me. Like, I'm just, like, I don't know what I'm doing in life. But I was just, it was crazy white people, you know, like, white people just need to stop. Like, they just need to stop. And it was just, it was an interesting couple of white supremacy years at Huntington High School, so to speak, you know, to put it some kind of perspective. I don't know if that makes any sense to y'all. But yeah, and you know, like, you know, just, I also remember with the first crazy hoe in that speech class, just to end it on a racial note, somebody was talking about their family and stuff and how they crossed over here and everything, you know, they made a living, blah, 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 you know, like, I guess, like, a rags to riches story, but, you know, like, not really, like, you know, like, if you're an immigrant, you know. And then she was like, oh, so, like, did they come over here? And, like, obviously, by that, she means, like, that those fucking bitches, like, swim across the Rio Grande. And it's just like, oh, my gosh, you racist white bitch. Like, you little southern belle from hell. Like, how dare you do that? And, like, sometimes you just sat there and you just want to be like, I have never in my life yelled at a girl like this. When my mother yelled at me like this, it's because she loved me. But then, like, you know, like, what can you really do? Like, it's just, it's crazy. Like, that was a crazy year. But basically, this was the second story of Huntington High School, and I really hoped you enjoyed watching it. It was an interesting time. It was an interesting time in the world, to say the least. But again, please watch the first one. If you want the series to keep going, please like, rate, share, subscribe, comment down below. Everything like that. Again, this was 5 crazy white hoes from school. So I really, really hope you like the series. I just want to keep it going to revive the Joan Rivers inside of me. Sadly, her anniversary of death is coming up, but what can we do? But anywho, I want to say hi to Rami Malek. Stay safe and God bless. And also, the Mr. Robot recap is coming up, so, you know, subscribe if you want to see Mr. Robot recap. So, again, hi to Rami Malek. Stay safe and God bless you guys.